Aloha. So today I want to talk about righteousness. And in doing so, I want to wrap up my Conditional Word IV, number 4 series, I guess, on love. And I think this is a good place to wrap it up on. But before we start, I guess a little house cleaning or disclaimer, I guess more so than anything. I know these videos aren't great. I struggle to remember stuff, or now more I'm trying to, because I was not remembering stuff and I was rambling, I'm trying to do a little more scripted stuff. I'm just feeling this out, and I know I repeat things, and I probably don't provide enough examples of stuff and flesh stuff out well enough, or to the extent that the audience may desire. But the point of this is not for me to get big on YouTube or some kind of bullshit like that. With this series, I'm just trying to give you some perspective and some food for thought, and some a different way of looking at these words, or looking at them in a different light. Maybe being a little more intentional about how you use words in general, and then specifically these words that I'm going through. My goal is not to give you answers necessarily. I'm trying to come to answers as I go through this. I'm working through this stuff myself, even though I've outlined what I'm going to talk about. It's still, there's something to talking about stuff that it gets it out, and once you hear it with your own ears, it kind of changes stuff, or it reveals certain things that you had missed before, or just didn't fully hold the weight of, or different stuff like that. I'm not trying to give you answers. I'm not trying to get you to a destination of, oh, now I know what righteousness is, and so now I know propositionally what righteousness is, and so I don't need to, I got it down. Nope, that's not how any of this stuff works, especially love. Especially these 6 videos that I've done on love. It's one thing to know something, and it's another thing to know it, to be it, to embody it. So hopefully this is just a tool to help you move towards embodiment of these things. And that perhaps amidst your doubts or your grappling with stuff, that I could give you some nutritious food for thought, I guess, and to champion you in going through a process, because not enough people, in my opinion, are, and it's really important. So that being said, let's keep it pushing. So love, it's simple, right? It's what I said before, and it is. Maybe love isn't simple, but the point of life is simple. It's love Hashem, love God, love the Almighty. And from that, if you truly do that, soon you will love your neighbor as well. And you'll do so without an acquiescing or a striving. It'll be a natural, and not just a natural outpouring, but also an extravagant fullness. you know? So it goes beyond just being a mode of operation that you don't have to think about, to also just being something that is just, it's not just pouring out, it's multiplying and building and growing and becoming greater all the time. And that's what happens when you love Hashem. I guarantee it. So, yeah, it all comes down to what is love. And I would say, I think I'd said it before in a couple videos ago, that love is the first principles, or the first principle of the cosmos, of all of this. And so the name of the game is to fall into that first principle. Excuse me. And now with that being said, let's talk about righteousness. Righteousness is a result of righteousness. At first, this is going to sound confusing, but hear me out, and hopefully it'll make sense by the end of it. Righteousness is a result of righteousness. It is not mere good behavior or right behavior. It is not right being or right acting. It is first and foremost right relationship with the Almighty. This is righteousness. As a result, it is then a natural right being for or through the Almighty. And this is righteousness. But at the same time, it is also the seeking of both, in a way. Somehow, with the telos of both juxtaposed in a balance. Without any utilitarian motives guiding it or incentivizing it. This is righteousness. So I think it seems paradoxical or redundant or something like that until you look at it through the lens of like PEMDAS, order of operations, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So that's the order that you go through mathematics in. And it's necessary, it is crucial that you go in that order, or else you won't get the right answers. So righteousness is first and foremost a seeking of and a soul telos of growing right relationship. Just that. It's relational, first and foremost. And not just the most, but first. Truly the first part of it for you, as far as your engagement with it or seeking of it, is seeking relationship with a person or a being, maybe is a better way to say it. So yeah, it's a soul telos of growing right relationship with the Almighty through grace and out of true love. And it may seem lofty, but that is the audacity of what Christ came to instill and to unleash and to gift us with. So I'd say next, righteousness is the process of developing this right relationship with Hashem. And in doing so, a new right relationship with all of creation can be noticed growing and building through seeing everything with a different vision. maybe better put, it's actually seeing for the first time, or yeah, it's seeing for the first time, and as you see for the first time, it's then less and less dimly lit. As you fall further into love, all of this becomes less and less dimly lit. As that love grows more and more bright and illuminates more of truth, and I guess I'll say goodness and beauty as well. Then further on in this journey of establishing right relationship with the Almighty, and from the maturity that this right relationship grows and nurtures and affords. And as that maturity is tried and tested, and honed and refined and progressed, finally, after all of this, only after all of this, there begins this, I don't know, I guess this is kind of difficult to say, because there is right behavior amidst everything that came before, but it becomes, it's the addition and subtraction of PEMDAS, you know. You're still doing math along the way, but you don't get to that till the very end as far as focusing on it goes. I guess that's the best way. So yeah, there is righteousness in the sense of being righteously, as necessarily as a byproduct or of a following natural product of the right relationship with the Creator. And this occurs through the vision that He has given and is continually giving through this righteousness with Him. This vision of love. And so finally, even further on in this journey, after a vision has been afforded as well, which a vision that the right relationship with Hashem gives a vision of love that instills a natural right relationship with all of creation. After this has been instilled, I guess, there is then both bringing all of creation into righteousness with the Creator, and being brought evermore into furthered righteousness with the Creator and all of creation. So this process never ends, and we begin helping others do this same process. That was what we were made to do, is to go through this process, but also to bring others into this process. And not just bring others, implying humanity, but also all of creation. We are here to lift it all into righteousness with Hashem. And so I would say the point of the law is to promote a perfect love of the Almighty and love of all of the Almighty's creation. The point is to reveal a path, or the path, of developing righteousness with the Almighty, and the rest will follow if you do that. So in the first main facet of relationship, what is happening is a blend of necessary movement into, or returning to, correct posture, which then makes you able to receive and to facilitate the ability to have the audacious thing that is a relationship with the creator of the cosmos. I think as being religious, maybe being in a religious culture, certain phrases can become, Christianese is a term that gets thrown around a lot, justifiably so. Relationship with the creator of the cosmos, with the creator of everything, is crazy. Is something that you could think about every moment of every day, and it would never become normal, or not normal, but inconsequential, or a hand wave away, or just a regularity, or no, this is the craziest thing. This is the biggest opportunity. This is the gift of all gifts. Don't forget that. And in this forging of right relationship with the Almighty, blended in that, there's also a radical deployment of faith on our part. It's a proving of a posture that is already true as it is, and actually living within its truth. So even amidst this seeking relationship, and as you've grown maturity, and as you have vision of love that helps you to actually see all of creation for what it actually is, there's still, and that's the audacity of our situation, I guess, there's still the requirement of faith and the leaning into faith. And so faithfulness and endurance, because that's how relationship works. It's continued. It's continually lived out, and is a process in and of itself. And so, yeah, that I say this just to so that, I guess, so you don't think that once you get to such heights or something like that we all, look to and pray and hope for, and work towards, and are open to be taken to, I guess is the best way to say that. Even amidst that, even if you get there, you are still a human, and you're still, it's still relationship. And so, yeah, it's it moves away from trying to find it, immaturity or adolescence is this trying to find the meaning of life. And at a certain point, you kind of realize that that's not how this thing works, or that's not the fullness of it. And so you've found it, but finding it is not the end of the story or the end of the game. In a lot of ways, it's just the start. Now it begins. And so I'd say from that point forward is expect to have to endure, and to expect to grow more. And I guess I'm just championing a posture of humility at all times, even if you are given vision and are blessed with righteousness, with the Creator. Endure. Have faith. So I would say that this first right relationship with Hashem differs from the right relationship with the surrounding world in that, apart from just being downstream, it is also closer to survival and adapting, empathy and wisdom. Whereas righteousness, which I would call right relationship with the Almighty, and da'ath are actually life-giving, source of life that is given, and deeply transformative. And yes, that's why I make that nuance, is because right relationship with all of creation is also life-giving and transformative, but it's not where that comes from. It's like your right relationship with God is the source of life, of it's, that is life-giving, and that is deeply transformative. And that life that you are given and that transformation that you are taken through continues to be done through right relationship with all of creation. But it doesn't stem from that place. It's stemming from our connection with Him. And it blooms and blossoms and sprouts through that right relationship with all of creation. And yeah, I think it's important to know that this cannot, like I said towards the beginning, this can't be contained or it can't end at propositional knowing, at listening to this video with, whatever truth is in this video. It has to be relationship. Actual relationship, not just like the way that we can tend to treat God and or just a lot of different stuff. We're like, yeah, we know it's relationship, but it's no, like this is person to person. And it's why I think Eros is so important. Because it really reveals righteousness, and we'll get to that. So yeah, this righteousness, this right relationship, it can only come through the process that is righteousness, or I guess this right vision and right being or right behavior, both of those, they can only come from the process that is righteousness, right relationship with Hashem. You have to show your work. I hated that in school, but this is one of those things that you can't skip from A to Z and be like, well, I'm at the finish line, so I made it, and it's, yeah, like I'm here. That's all that matters, is I made it here. Like, no, it's not about destination. It's about the process. And if that wasn't so, then we wouldn't be given this whole opportunity to grow righteousness, to choose to grow righteousness, instead of it just being obvious and easy and a given. Instead, it's ambiguous, and it's a struggle, and it's rewarded as well, because it's not a given. You can't approach it like an epiphany. There is epiphany in it, definitely. This is something you can't do. We can't will up righteousness. Like, you can't will up love. In reality, when we're commanded and told to love. The difficulty with that command is that it's not speaking of an action. It's not telling you to perform love. That command is telling you to fall in love with everyone and everything, which is a different way of looking at that, which is why I refer to this as a vision of love, because it changes everything. And it's the only thing that really changes everything. Because once you start seeing stuff differently, you see it differently now, and you act accordingly because you see it differently. You see the value or the worth or the whatever, and it totally is a different thing that you're seeing. Yeah. So don't try to treat it or approach it like an epiphany, and instead find it along the way, or intentionally nurture it despite not having it. And then one day you will realize that it's already there, kind of thing. Like enlightenment, like the Eastern notion of enlightenment. More, it's a very subtle thing. It's all encompassing, and it's the chief most thing. It's the thorough, but it's also extremely subtle and not. Yeah, it's not this exciting, instant thing at all. It's a long haul, and it's a process. So, like I said a little bit ago, righteousness is eros. That's how I think that's the best frame to look at righteousness through. Especially with looking at righteousness as a facet of love. And so what facet of love, of perfect love, is righteousness? And I would say that it's eros. And what results through this eros is then the rest of that array of love that's in part one. That's a good way of thinking about this. Is that PEMDAS kind of thing is similar to that array of love, where you have eros, and then you have storge and philia kind of mixed, and then you got storge, and then you got philia, and then you got this agape that's mixed between all humanity and all of creation, and so it flows out in that way. But it starts with this intimate and personal and one-to-one love that you have fallen into, and then it goes out from there. So yeah, it's truly seeing everyone and everything and every moment differently, in such an authentic way that you naturally treat them accordingly. Naturally, meaning without a strive, without a conscious effort. And I guess a way of understanding that, if you don't, is the difference between the same exact things when you're in a bad mood or are depressed, than when you're in a good mood or riding high in life. You know, you listen to a song, or, you know, you're sad and you listen to this sad song, and it's like, it just hits. You're happy and you listen to this sad song, and it's like, oh, like, turn that off. Stop now. You're happy and you listen to a happy song, and it's just like, this is it. Like, totally. I'm right there with the song. And then you're depressed and you listen to a happy song. And you're just like, this is disgusting. Like, this is fake. And, you know, it's that kind of thing that it totally changes. The same thing is totally different depending on the vision you have of it, the way that you behold it. And with, I guess I forgot to say, with righteousness being eros, a proof for that, or I guess a further proof of that, is that we are the beloved. That's an important way to see yourself. The vision that the Almighty has of us, of you, of me, is that I am His beloved. That He loves perfectly, fully, wholly. So even in that kind of that depressed or that happy visions that you have of stuff, they're like two different realities in reality. and I would say that this is all the more the case with the kingdom vision of whole love, of perfect love, of full love, which is a fruit of being in righteousness, right relationship with Hashem. And yeah, it is it's pretty much, I've said it. It's that vision is so important. Developing, first desiring that vision of love, and then humbly accepting it as He gives it to you. It's just such a different reality from this Babylon bullshit that the frames that we subject ourselves to, that are false and are ugly and are bad, to counter the good and the true and the beautiful. That's the audacity and the radicalness of righteousness with Hashem, is because this reality is, or this vision is the entrance into a whole new reality, and it's the true reality going further. And so this righteousness with the Almighty, the creator of the cosmos, and of you, His beloved, right relationship with Him is the affordance of actual life and the best life that you could ever desire. And so it may seem strange or I mean, I guess it'll seem as strange as like its inclusion in the Bible to various people. Um, it kind of depends on your view on the book to begin with, but I would say go read Song of Songs and fall in love. Because that's what righteousness is. Yeah. Aloha. Thank you for your time and attention.